Whew. Not sure if you can tell right now, but I'm drenched in sweat all over my shirt. I wanted to make an update, a moving company slash storage business update while this was still fresh and a little chaotic. I'm literally sweating still from this. So what happened today, kind of in a ridiculous story. We have storage over here in our warehouse that we do in combination with the moving company. A lot of times people will be moving out of their old home and going to the new home, and there's some kind of escrow lapse where they need storage for 4 or 5 days in between, their new homes. A lot of times what we'll do in that case is we'll let people store their stuff for free for up to a week. That way they don't have to worry about paying for storage at some storage facility. We get 2 moves out of it. Everyone's happy basically. And then what we do is if it's going to be more than a week, then we just start billing them monthly for storage. Well, this person, we moved him into storage. It was just going to be 3 days. Moved him into storage, and the day before the move, he said, my house isn't ready, I got to extend this. Well, the problem is we've been booked up for the last 3 weeks straight, completely booked, and we had no availability for 6 days. So he's on the phone like anxious, like super emotional, because he's going to have to spend all this money on hotels until the time that we could actually complete the job. So we're like, okay, let's see what we can do. We'll try and solve this problem for you. Put him on hold. We checked out the calendar. We're like, okay, maybe we can do this job for you 3 days earlier. It's going to be tough. We're going to do our best to get this done for you. Hopefully our guys on their morning job are able to finish relatively quickly, and then they can handle you afterwards. Well, today is the day that was supposed to happen. The guys did finish their morning job relatively quickly, and they get back to the shop. They start loading this guy's stuff from the shop, which I'm going to have clips so you can see how much stuff this is. Started loading the stuff from the shop into the truck. They completed loading it. And we called the customer and we're like, okay, we should be there around like 5 or so, and we'll unload all your stuff. The customer said, my house isn't ready yet, and I can't move in yet. So this means all of our stuff, all of his stuff, needs to go back into the warehouse. And normally this would be the customer's fault. But because we did things out of the ordinary, we kind of skipped past the policy, we didn't schedule it as an official move, and we didn't call him like we normally would, because normally when we have like an afternoon job, we'll call him on the way. Well, in this case, there's no on the way because the stuff's already here. So there's like 6 things that could have prevented this from happening, so it's kind of our fault that we loaded this all into the truck without calling him first. But no one thought anything of it because he needed to get it done as quickly as possible 3 days ago or whenever he had called the last time. So we're like, oh no. So I have to break it to all the guys that, hey, all this stuff that you just spent 3.5 hours loading into a truck from there now needs to go back from the truck into the warehouse again, and we're gonna have to deal with it next week sometime. So I'm all sweaty right now because I was like, I'm frustrated at this point. And I mean, all you can really do is laugh about it in the moment and then fix things later on. So we're going to learn from this. But I'm frustrated because now I've paid, 15 man hours to load and unload this. So I was helping unload everything as quickly as I could just so to save, a little bit of money and just to make myself mostly feel a little better that I'm not spending quite as much paying for all of this. The only bright side is now it's more than a week, so we're going to start billing him for storage. So that kind of covers it, but I'm still, I would have received that either way, but just absolutely chaotic. So I'll show some clips of that so you can see what we're dealing with. So here is the fully loaded truck. Obviously it doesn't look too pretty at the end of the truck. That's where all the odds and ends go. Pretty much packed to the brim. And this is where everything needs to go back. And here is everything completely loaded back into the warehouse. Now you might be asking, why is that stuff just on the floor? Well, the customer is aware of that, so don't worry there. But all those storage vaults that you see are actually now completely full. There are 35 vaults in the warehouse right now. I'm going to have to get more. They are all full right now, which is absolutely awesome. I got this warehouse the 1st of February. My goal was to hit 50 by the end of summer. Pandemic hit. I figured, okay, well, there's no way I'm going to hit 50. We basically had no move-ins for like 3 months. But now in the last month or so, we've filled up like 20 of them, and I need to go buy more vaults now. And it's super exciting because 35 vaults is just over $2,000 a month reoccurring. And then I figure about 50 vaults, 50 to 55 vaults, storage containers, whatever you want to call them, will cover all of my warehouse expenses, the rent on this 6,000 square foot warehouse, the utilities, everything will be covered from that. And then after that will just be complete profit. So really the goal is to get it up to like 100, 120, and then I'll be profiting, you know, $5,000, $6,000 a month, just cash flow every single month coming in. And then from there, what the goal would be to take that reoccurring cash flow, buy about $1 million warehouse, maybe around 30,000 square feet, and my mortgage is automatically covered with all the storage cash flow. Obviously, I can start filling even more storage in that because that would be much bigger, and then potentially rent out sections to other businesses or just do fun stuff in the warehouse, because it has always been my dream to just have a huge warehouse, put a gym in it, just be able to do some kind of cool stuff just with all this space. So I've just slowly been working towards that goal over the last like 5 or so years with this business. And I think storage will be the key to make that happen, the key to getting into real estate on the commercial end, getting some potential commercial tenants in there, obviously doing storage, just really exciting. So I'm going to be expanding that very soon and kind of having some more updates there. But I thought that was absolutely ridiculous what we had to go through today. You might be thinking like, how the heck did that ever happen? Yeah, I'm thinking the exact same thing too. Like I said, there was 5 or 6 different things that would have completely prevented this from happening. You know, things happen in business. You kind of got to just learn from your mistake and move on. You know, at a certain point, what are you going to do? It probably cost me $300, a $300 mistake. You know, oh well. The business isn't perfect, but it's getting slowly better and better and better. The last update I did, I talked about the employment crisis that we're dealing with right now. We have jobs, we're finally starting to get busier again. We have jobs, but we had no one to work, basically. Like, never had fewer applicants to a job position. I said this last time, but previously we'd get like 150 applicants a week. We're getting 15 a week, 10 a week. And you know, of 10 or 15, you might not even be able to make one hire. So since that last update, which was 2 weeks ago, we've hired about 8 people, and we're still doing interviews every single day to just be able to handle the volume again, you know, what we're at. Normally this time of the year, we need about 30 to 40 people to handle the workload. Right now, you know, we probably need 17 or 18. So we're still not where we were at last year, but it's exciting that things are a little bit better than they were a couple months back, where it was like, okay, we're not really making very much profit at all. And I know a lot of other moving companies completely went under, and scary times, basically. But that's the update for now. Things are slowly getting better. Of course, there's always some chaos, but you learn from it, you move on. That's all I have for today. I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a profitable week.